so excited.
It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
All right, what's going on? It's Two Guys and a Goalie, 12:04 on Edmonton Sports Talk. Reed, do you want to be Kass or Gager today?
Oh, geez.
Your choice.
What a question.
Your choice.
Well, whoever I say, the other guy will be hurt. So I'll say Gager because I don't see Kass as often, though he's bigger.
That does make sense. All right, so I thought Kass was in today, so you tell me what you think this text means, Reed. So Kass had texted me on Monday and said, I'm gone tomorrow, which was Tuesday.
Yes.
And then said Thursday next week and Tuesday the 12th. Which is weird because
you got mixed up, yeah.
Tuesday the 12th is next Tuesday. But why would you say you'd be gone Thursday next week, which is the 14th, and then say Tuesday the 12th?
Yeah, he got mixed up. He meant...
Did he mean next Thursday is this Thursday?
I guess he meant today. Well, he's not here,
he's not
I guess
here.
that's what he
must have meant today.
Well, question
Question
answered.
So we pulled Reed Wilkins on short notice out of the bullpen. So thank you very much for doing this, Reed.
My pleasure, Dustin.
Yes. I
didn't get to take part in the draft, so I guess I get to be on this show.
Well, you might be taking part in the draft relatively soon. What did you think of the Bird draft?
I thought it was entertaining. It's just the thing that frustrates me is how there aren't any rules. I mean, the rules need to be standardized.
And from a draft pick perspective or from a punishment
Tom Gazzola should not be able to trade percentage points to you for picks. You shouldn't be able to trade picks
I
in a
was
draft.
stunned that he offered that.
And it's like, and then it was like, oh, can we do that? Well, yeah, we can do that. It's like an NHL game where it's like, Boston goes offside and Boston's like, no, offside's not a rule. And then Utah has to be like, oh, okay, I guess it's not a rule today.
So this is a commish issue. In your opinion,
it's just an overall structure issue, Dustin. Okay,
yeah. But you want to be a part of this.
Well, they are fun. They are fun. It's fun to be creative and come up with stuff. Yeah. Again, I'm not sure they need to be 2 hours.
Yeah,
it seems like a lot of actual work doesn't get done at the expense of the draft.
Yeah, I mean that's probably fair. I think that's probably so. I mean, I was left scrambling doing 2 hours over there and then back in here to Lock Shop.
Well, you're on 7. Why didn't you get someone to do one of the other shows?
I don't like to make people do extra stuff. So I guess I could have had like Maddie do Lock Shop or something.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. You're here now.
Yeah, I'm here now. It's fun.
So that's good. But, just quickly on that, it is a draft day here. I mean, the drafts do very well. People seem to really like them. Started during the pandemic when we had nothing to talk about in sports. And we're like, you know what's related to sports? Drafting, and people love drafts.
Okay.
That's how it started. It started when we were full blown. Well, it might have been a little bit before the pandemic, actually. But during the pandemic, we really cranked it up a notch. And we were hitting them like once a month, easy, maybe once every 3 weeks.
That is good pandemic fodder.
Right. We could kill 2 hours with a draft during the pandemic.
Yeah, and it was something that made people happy
during
the pandemic and stuff
takes people's mind off of everything that was going on.
Right.
Except for our draft about the worst things about the pandemic, which we didn't do. That would have been something. But
draft contagious diseases.
I do like the openness to have a relegation, and we'll get some fresh blood in there. Now, Quinn put it at under 18% of the vote.
Yeah, so 3 people could be out if somebody got like 90%.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I'm just looking right now on Twitter, and now the Instagram vote factors in here as well. And we just sort of add the 2 percentages together, and then...
But there'll be more people more people might vote on one platform than the other.
100%. Well, and this is I will say this. I think putting the Instagram vote in was stupid. Like, we've always just done Twitter vote, and then Quinn put in this Instagram vote, and then it merges the two percentages, and you just take the average of them.
But
and
one person
so many more people vote on Twitter than on Instagram.
5,000 on Twitter.
Yeah. So, I mean, technically, I guess the Instagram vote is worth more in the overall percentage.
This is what's amazing. You guys do these things. It's like, well, wait a minute. That's actually dumb.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why didn't you plan it ahead of time?
Well, see, this, like, I would have loved to have just said, let's just, like, maybe all of us vote on if Instagram comes in as a vote. Quinn just put it in place. She's a commissioner with power. Sometimes probably too much, I think we're learning. But it was her call. I think it's made the vote a little bit more sketchy. But let's just, so right now, if we just look, it's early. I mean, there's going to be a lot more votes. But Eric's got 51% of the vote on Twitter.
What?
52% of the vote on Insta.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
That's incorrect.
No, he does. I have 20% on Twitter, 24% on Instagram. Jay has 60. So even with my minus 2% penalty, I would still barely avoid relegation. 16.5% for Jay on Twitter, 10% for Jay on Instagram. So he would be facing relegation. And then Tommy's 11% on Twitter and 14% on Instagram. So he would also. So
Tom's team is clearly
Tommy
the
will be
weakest from what
relegated. I think
saw.
Tommy will probably be relegated.
I think he was trying to be relegated.
He sits down and starts to prep for the draft.
During the draft?
During the draft.
Oh.
He had no list today.
Oh,
so
wow.
I think he might have thrown it a little bit. And then he was on tilt with the trade and screwed up there. But Eric is running away with this thing right now.
Interesting.
Big time.
I think I voted for your team.
Oh, thanks, man.
On Instagram and Twitter.
You voted for both. Your Instagram vote counts for a little bit more than... I thought it was a fun draft. Like, they sometimes get off the rails, but
sometimes, yes, just sometimes, Dustin.
I'm trying to think of what the least handsome man draft. Handsome man draft went pretty smooth, but then Tommy pushed his team out on Instagram with self promotion after, and that led to this.
Okay.
Led to this debacle. But the one thing, I was listening to your guys' show yesterday, and you were talking about how we determine who would step up.
Yes.
The relegation scenario. And what would you basically say? Like, whoever hasn't been in most recently?
Yeah, or
if they want to. I don't want to force guys in.
Family Feud style lightning round.
Oh, that would
competition
be cool.
Where it's like just quick.
I do like, yes. Let's say Jay and I, or Tommy and Jay get relegated, or Tommy and I get relegated, or whatever. There would be 2 open spots for whatever the next draft is. So let's say you want in, Gager wants in, Nancy wants in, and Trev wants in, or Zach, or somebody. Whoever wants in, we create a side competition.
Yeah.
And then the top 2 would advance in.
But would you guys get to go, would the relegated guys get to try to get back in?
I mean, I think it's probably fair that, or maybe they sit out 1. Maybe you sit out the 1.
Well, we have to sit out 1.
It's also a cool story to be like, he's faced relegation, but he won his way back in immediately.
Right, yeah, that's also, yeah.
I don't hate that, because then that would put like a 7-man competition up.
Yeah.
To see who gets in.
Did you ever consider being a wrestling promoter before you got into broadcasting?
No.
Because like I was saying this morning, you just love the controversy and these
the storylines, right?
Storylines. It's like,
I guess.
When you put on your socks in the morning, do you pretend your feet are having a competition to see who's going to get covered up first?
No, but I am relatively competitive. Yeah. Rip City Step says it's pro wrestling. The drafting doesn't really matter. That's how Step views it. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes down. But there's gonna be fresh blood. I don't know what the next draft will be. It's 2 Guys in Goalie, by the way, brought to you by GS Construction. We're gonna take a look at legitimate Stanley Cup contenders today. So we'll go there and kind of take a look at some of the odds at Play Alberta and see how many teams we would describe as legitimate Stanley Cup contenders. But I have a folder on my phone here with draft ideas. Read.
Oh, nice.
So and look at it.
Oh, my God, this is
actually look at this thing. Look at this thing.
This is insane. Your mind works the way you have a very unique mind.
Thanks, man. Wasn't that a movie?
A Beautiful Mind.
Beautiful Mind. I watched that recently on a plane. Really well done. I totally forgot that the guy was in his imagination. Threw me for a twist.
2 people wasn't his roommate and somebody else in his imagination?
I know his roommate was
the Paul Bettany character.
Who's
was
awesome.
Ed Harris in that?
Was another guy in his imagination?
I thought there were two people.
Damn.
But was that Jennifer Connelly?
It was, yes, I think it was Jennifer Connelly.
And I think that's where she met and then married Bettany, wasn't it? I think Connelly and Bettany are married.
That would make sense.
So it's Russell Crowe is the mathematician.
Yes, he's the super smart guy.
Is it actually schizophrenia or is it some other disorder that has a different name? I can't remember. Or
I think it might have been schizophrenia,
because it's not
but I don't know.
multiple personalities. Because he was always himself, but he thought at other times
he would
there
see
were
the other people
to
and
him.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max Bazuzu says, spoiler alert. Well, I mean,
The movie's
had 20 years.
4 years old. Wasn't it 01?
What's your wiggle room on that? A spoiler alert.
Oh, 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, I think 5.
I think that's fair.
Or if you're talking to somebody who wasn't born when the movie came out,
yeah. So like if we're talking to Zach and the movie came out pre-2000, pre-2002.
Yeah, you can't. Or you check. Did you have it? But the thing is, with A Beautiful Mind, that's not a spoiler that would wreck the movie because that's part of the guy's story.
Yeah.
If you looked him up, that would be the second line in his bio. So then that there was a movie about him. So like in the movie, it's not really a twist. You know that going into the movie that there's something like that, right? I thought there was another. I thought there was another person that he had sort of manufactured in A Beautiful Mind. Besides, why do I think Ed Harris?
Well, Ed Harris was in it, wasn't he?
Can't remember.
There was a. Let's just take a quick.
You know who directed that? Pretty sure that was Ron Howard.
Yes, I think it was Ron Howard. I remember reading that.
Yeah, John Nash, famous mathematician. So who are the quote unquote imaginary people?
I mean, maybe I missed it. I thought it was just Bettany. Ed Harris
was. Bettany was. And
Ed Harris was fake as well?
Yeah.
In his mind?
And somebody named Marcy was fake as well, played by Vivian Cardone. Yeah, because remember in that last scene, I remember he saw more than one person and he kind of looks away. Like at that point, he knew, like, oh, yeah, they're there, but I don't interact with them.
When he was older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good movie. Interesting story, for sure.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. Draft ideas.
Oh, geez. Okay.
We did a Saturday Night Live draft one time. It led to controversy, but I wouldn't mind a general draft of comedy where you pick some stand-up comics and you pick like.
Oh wow, that'd be huge. That'd be huge.
A draft of liquids.
God.
Right, beer, water, anything liquid.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Good. A draft of smells. We did the scary thing draft. Let me cross that one off. What about a draft of inventions?
Oh, that's a good one. That could be fun. I don't know how deep that you'd have to find things people wouldn't even know what it was though.
A draft of doctors.
Oh, that's a good one.
Fictional doctors,
just general doctors,
just doctors in general.
You're afraid of.
The draft of we have to draft the worst possible team in Oilers history. So you're just drafting
Is there
awful players.
Minimum game? It has to be a minimum game.
There would have to be a minimums game play, but what would that be?
Oh, it'd have to be at least 100, I would think.
The worst Oilers team, minimum 100.
You can't pick Milan Kitnar.
Maybe you go, they have to play what would have been equivalent to one season, so like 82 games.
Yeah, something like that. Sure.
That could be a fun one.
Oh,
draft of movie kids. Only kids who were in movies.
Yeah.
The educator draft, where you're just drafting teachers. I think we did that one.
Did you do that one? Okay.
Police enforcement draft. We're drafting.
Have you done an
cops.
Edmonton draft? Like
we did do it. We did do it. We did do
that.
We did an Edmonton draft a long time ago.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, did we do this one? The nice guy draft. Just a draft of nice guys.
Nice people. Gene
Yeah,
Prince
we might have done
first
that.
pick.
Sidekick draft. Might have done sidekick draft. Not here, but so anyway, I got a ton of.
You're like you're really into the drafts.
I like them.
Like it's mildly alarming actually. But I think you like the arguing and the controversy.
I like I'm a big. I do mock drafts for football. I do a ton of hockey pools. I love drafting.
Okay.
So I more love the rush of selecting things.
Oh, okay.
Controversy is like a slight bonus that pops up from time to time.
All right,
But,
I get what you're saying.
yeah.
I think that I don't know if I would be. See, I'm more into I'm more into order, and that's why. Like I have done.
You did a good job in your one draft thing.
I have done like simulation leagues on my own where I've written out rules.
Yes.
Or where it's like, okay, I have to make sure that if this team, they're due a home game, like how I did a baseball cards and dice league that took me over a decade to finish. It was a bunch of teams from the 1980s. And so I randomized the schedule online, and then I randomly drew, so this team will be team 1, this team will be team 2. And then
you just did it for your own pleasure.
Yeah. Well, I posted stuff on a message board with all the guys put stuff on there. And then I realized that, if it was, if one team had an AL team had a run of playing an NL team and it was team 1, like the computer always listed them first.
Yeah.
So then I had to randomize which team was home first and away first in the home and home. So it wasn't always like, the AL team played their home game first and then, like stuff like that. I didn't explain that very well, but I had like regulations that I had to follow, and it was just me doing it. Like literally no one else would care or ever know that it happened if I didn't just talk about it.
No, it's funny that you say this. You probably won't believe this, but how old were you when you did that? Like you were like an adult?
I think I started in my mid 30s.
Okay.
And I finished, I think it took 12 or 13 years. Now, here's the thing.
You're the best, man.
It was, I think the whole thing was, with playoffs, was a little bit over 200 games.
Yeah.
And it only took about 30 to 45 minutes to roll a game. But I had a program on my laptop to track all the stats.
Okay.
And then I would do a little write-up. But I probably had a couple times I went a year without playing a game. And then some months I might roll 15 games.
Yeah.
So it was just all over the map. The 1980 Yankees won. There was no Blue Jays team in it, oddly enough. Because it was just the company that makes the game, replaybb.com.
Okay.
Everybody check it out. They just did great teams from the 1980s, but you didn't pick the teams. They just said, here are the teams.
Yeah.
But the 81 Expos were on there. They made the playoffs. And I did my playoff format was the top 7 out of 20, and it was a full double round robin. So 20 teams, 38 games each. And then even in the end, like you're down to like the third last round, and it's like a 9-win team is playing an 8-win team. I'm like, do I need to roll this? And I'm like, well, this guy's in the running for the batting championship. I better roll all the games.
So when this would have been when we were living on the farm. So we moved off our farm when I was 15. But sometimes this summer we didn't live close to like any friends where I could just bike over to them or whatever. Like if I was going to hang out with a buddy during the summer, it would require my parents driving me somewhere. And so we spent a lot of time just chilling on the farm. And I remember one year I had a notebook. I had this new notebook, and it's kind of similar. I decided to I took like 16 cities in BC and created like my own BC hockey league.
That's awesome.
Like Chilliwack and Dawson Creek and all these places. And then I did a very similar thing to you where I had like 2 decks of cards, and I would do the games head to head on these decks of cards.
Right.
And then I would track the results in my book, and I would try to crown the champion of my imaginary BCHL hockey league.
Yeah, and that's the best is like pretending these small towns have these franchises.
Came up with a name for all of them and everything. It was great.
And it's like, well, that's a big road trip. Entwistle driving all the way to Vegreville for a Wednesday night game.
I also, what I would do, I'm sure many of you probably did this, but I had a hockey net in the back pasture, like behind our backyard, and I'd been out there enough that I kind of beat it down pretty good. So it was fun to play on. But I would go out there, and I would have a book, and I'd have 2 teams, 2 rosters.
Right.
And I would run around and like pass it to myself.
Oh yeah,
be like
Lindros to Leclerc, so I would do that all
and
the
then
time
bring
too,
it in. And but I would track the stats as well on the goals that I would score.
Well,
Lindros scored that one. I was a big Eric Lindros guy, so Lindros scored that one from John Leclerc and Eric Desjardins, and it was my parents must have
Yeah.
They must have thought I was nuts.
But
I would have been
used
like
to
10,
do-
11, 12 doing that by myself.
So when I was a kid, my dad brought me home a floor hockey stick from school. I think it might have broken because it was like the height a kid could use. So he probably thought, well, I'll just give it to Reed because we can't use it in the school, maybe. And then we had, some people remember this, the era when houses were built and every room had a different color paint or wallpaper and a different color rug. So our living room had a white rug. So that was my hockey simulation room. Of course. So I had just an imaginary puck and I would imagine the whole games and I would play as both teams, but I would never keep stats though. I think once I might have done kind of my own Canada Cup and I just kept, and you're just running in your head. You're just running around for a few minutes. Oh, now there's 12 minutes left. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, first period's over. Like, it wasn't realistic at all.
Yeah.
I should have really worked on the realism.
Oh, those are good times.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one doing stuff
but
like that.
I'll say this, like, I don't know if kids really do that anymore. You know, like that was a lot of fun back then. I guess maybe it's more fun now with the video games and
maybe
being a city kid with your buddies or something. But I really enjoyed my time by myself creating fake hockey teams and playing for hours and hours.
Well, I was an only child and I had friends, a few. But yeah, I spent a lot. But I still do this though. Like, well, I mean, into my 40s, I was doing cards and dice, and I'll probably do more.
It's a hobby.
Were you here when I brought the cards and dice football game in and showed it to people?
No, I was not here then.
Yeah, you were probably sick still, or when you were.
Was that back in like last?
It would have been
fall?
in the fall. Yeah, it was relatively early on.
Yeah,
I love that stuff though.
Big Maple over in the chat says, now that you're both here, when do we get the prequel to the interview where Reed plays Lloydminster Reed and Marshall plays young Dusty trying to get a job? We do want to do more of those EST shorts. We talk about it around here.
Yeah, once we're settled in. Because I wrote one. I won't say what it was about.
It was a good one, though.
It'll be a funny one. If we can pull, if we need props, we need a very specific set of props for it that don't really exist anymore, oddly enough.
You know, I've actually,
in that form.
I've gone and looked a couple times at
some
secondhand stores.
Yeah.
If I'm going to look for something, I'll be like, oh, I wonder if they have one of those towers here. And it's tough to find. But we do, in a perfect world, and once we get the office set up here and stuff, I would like to do one of those scripted videos once a month.
Well, I think that's
right. I think
totally
that's something that we could definitely do. Because the reaction,
they're a couple minutes long, really.
Yeah, it does. It takes a little while to shoot and Trev edits.
But if we have a script and an idea, then we just
really
rattle
bang it
off.
out in one afternoon.
Yeah, well, easy.
Right? So, yeah, we'll get to what was the one that you suggested with Marshall?
Okay, so
I don't
know if you want me to say this one.
Yeah, no,
so
that's a good one.
It's like 20 to 25 years in the future.
Yeah.
And I'm the only current EST employee still working 2 decades.
The only original, like the original.
Well, I'm borderline.
Yeah, borderline original, yeah.
So, and now Marshall's running the station. And I'm like this old grizzled, crusty guy, like way older than everybody else. And we got like this staff meeting and then the staff meeting kind of breaks up and I'm just kind of sitting there and Marshall's like, you got a problem, Reed? Like you've been sitting there, like you're acting like defiant of my ideas. And I'm like, well, your father would have never run the station this way. And he looks at me and goes, I'm not my father. And I'm like, yeah, I noticed. But then there's another, and then later in the day, he calls you, he phones you.
Okay. Yeah.
And you're like a retired guy on the beach.
Okay.
Like massive belly, like shorts and like the flowered shirt, but like open.
Yeah,
and
open.
You're lying back. And you got like the weird, large, for some reason I picture you like with a 1980s cell phone.
Yeah, like a Zach Morris cell phone.
And they're like, what do you call Marshall? Like, hey, buddy. Or,
hey, Buckaroo.
Hey, Buckaroo. What's going on? And he's like, well, Wilkins is giving me trouble. And then like Tammy's next to you on the, and you have one of those drinks like with the big umbrella and you're sipping on it. And Tammy's like, you said you wouldn't answer the phone on holiday. And you're like, hang on, babe, read your book. Like you're just, and you're like, you got to give Rita space. He's got a lot of crazy ideas, but he's going to do the job. And he's just like, well, I never do run on the station. Be so tough, Dad. He's like, yeah, you're fine. And then like a waitress walks by. He's like, hey, can you get me another one of these, babe? And then Tammy's like, is that Marshall? I want to talk to him. And you're like, oh, no, it's nobody. Hang on.
See, so there's lots of ideas.
Yeah.
We have lots of ideas for funny videos. I don't know how we film that one. That needs some CGI
just
involved.
Talking about it is fun.
I mean, yeah.
Just picturing it.
But yeah, it's a pretty funny one. I do I do like that one. All right, you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999. The troll is in it. Says, when I was about 10, I too created my own hockey league of Western Canadian and Northwest USA teams and also played the games in our carport, and I kept the stats.
Fax
Such
them in.
nerds.
Fax them in. That's awesome.
Yeah, we want to see those stats, man. I think that's pretty good.
I'm glad to hear this because I always kind of felt, am I the only one that does this?
No, definitely not.
But now I know that it's fairly common. Trying to see if I can find I think I have to pay Delphi to go back and find
to see
to see something that old.
And you would post it on message boards, and then
on this replay, this Delphi forum, this replay sports game. So look at all these people post their own results,
and it's still going
replays.
and stuff. And yeah,
people do, like this guy's doing a 1991 Twins replay. So there's the box score for his game. Twins aren't doing well, but he's gonna go.
And
right
he's
to
using the same.
He's doing
system.
the cards and dice game. Yeah,
Okay.
replay BB.
Yeah.
So
is that the nerdiest thing about you?
There's a lot.
I'm trying to think what mine is. I mean,
probably that I'll sit there by myself, roll cards and dice, look on charts, so I can find out how Gary Carter, what Gary Carter did against, Rick Ruschel in the bottom
Gary
of the
Carter
seventh.
is struggling right now.
Yeah, the cards and dice stuff is fairly nerdy. Like this would be pretty niche, I would think. Like, okay, I read comics. Well, a lot of people
whatever.
read
A lot of people read comics.
That's even gaming stuff. Like a lot of people play board games or have their own things that they pursue.
Yeah, I'm trying.
This is probably a little more niche. And again, just to do as I did an entire tournament that was several hundred games over 12 or 13 years. It wasn't just like, I wonder how the 80 Yankees would do against the 87 Twins in a best of 5. And that's how I spend my afternoon. And then you never touch the game again.
Yeah.
Like I was like, no, this tournament's getting done.
Yeah. I think mine would probably be online simulation hockey leagues, which I've done. I used to, there's this program that you could get early 2000s where, you put in all the player ratings and you just hit sim games and it sims out the games and all the box scores and everything.
Oh, sweet.
And I started playing, simulation, what was it? The SHL simulation. Anyway, we would do it online and you would have like 29 other dudes.
Oh, wow.
And you would make trades on ICQ and stuff. And then the simulation league, 1 year I tried to start like 4 different leagues and then the championship would play off. I taught myself HTML code, designed the website. Like it was pretty hardcore.
Oh, that's great.
And now I'm still technically in one of those leagues, but I haven't been able to give it the attention. I loaded up for years trying to win a title. Didn't do it. My cap situation's horrible. I have no picks.
Right.
But I'm in that league with Guy Flaming.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Flaming's been in it for over 20 years, and I think I've been in close to 20 years as well. Corey Graham used to be in that league. And go www.sichl.com. You'll see it. It's pretty good now.
That's pretty cool. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so you can see the teams and
Banff is in it.
Your rosters and
who's have. Well, that's a playoff.
That's Havana.
Series. Havana, Cuba. As a team.
Yeah. There's I think there's an international. So I'm the Las Vegas Aces.
The World Conference, the Stockholm Cougars.
Yeah. So it was a tough year for
Canadian
my Aces.
teams, and then the international includes the United States.
Yeah.
Boston Colonials, Philadelphia Fire Ants. Jeez.
So I finished 26-47-9 this year, minus 112 goal differential, worst in the league. But I only finished 4th last in the conference. But we do drafts, you have prospects, you have it all.
So these are all real people running these teams. There's no computer run teams.
No, these are all real people. And there's a Discord and you can make trades over there. And I wish I used to put, like before I had kids, man, I would spend weekends going over my roster trying to wheel and deal. And
oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was, it's really fun. It's kind of, I just have so many things on the go. It's kind of taking a bit of a back seat. Plus, I don't have any picks. My cap's a mess. I don't know what's going to happen. But we did. You'll love this. I mean, talking about nerdy, this one, we had the entry draft one year live in person, and we rented a room at Grant Mac.
Oh, neat.
But only 5 of these guys, maybe 6, are from Edmonton. everybody else flew in from their respective cities and came for the draft.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was great. And they would do some YouTube chats, and we do like draft recaps, and yeah, man. So I guess that's kind of nerdy. That was my big
yeah, that is pretty cool.
That was my big thing. It's really fun. We have a minor league. It's you can go in and rank your prospects, and yeah. But I haven't had too much time for it lately.
Oh, I get it.
All right, it's 2 guys and a goalie, completely off the rails. As somebody said, this really seems like a Friday. Look, it's August 7th. It's a Thursday. We're coming off a draft show. You know how it is. 2 Guys A Goalie brought to you by the Sandman and crew over at GS Construction, setting the industry standard for 50 years with quality, efficiency, safety, driving their success. GS Construction is a foundation built on teamwork, and now they want you to become a part of the team. Visit www.gsconstruction.ca, click on Ready to Work, or visit their page at Indeed.ca. And with the Next Up Person program at GS Construction, it is not just a job, it is be a career. At GS Construction. So take your career to the next level over there. I was thinking about it last night, and I wanted to kind of dive into it. You know, midway through, free agency is kind of settled and everything. And I'm curious on how many legitimate Stanley Cup contenders we think there are in the National Hockey League right now. And I know it's a weird conversation to have in the middle of the offseason, but we're here. Trades have been made. Free agency has pretty much come and gone. There's a few decent guys that are still kicking around out there. There are some rumored trades for some teams that actually have cap space that could still go down and change this conversation. But Reed, when you hear legitimate cup contender,
yeah,
do you go, oh, well, there's probably 10 teams? Or do you go, there's 4?
I go 6 max.
6 max. Like every year, that's your
tier.
standard?
Yes,
like
4 to 6.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't mean other teams can't win. I just look at which teams are very well built, have a lot of good players, and are tough to beat 4 times in a 7-game series. Especially early in the playoffs, so they can at least make the conference final. And then the second tier teams, they're pretty good, but they need something maybe a little bit unusual or a break to win the cup.
They would have to go on a run that you weren't expecting.
And then a third tier team, some of those teams might not even be playoff teams. Like that'd be like the Canadians from this past season. It's like they're still pretty good, and they played hard against the Washington Capitals, but they really weren't going to win that series, right? So I would say in the very top tier, depending on the year, 4 to 6 teams. Like I'd say 6 max if you're talking about a really well-built powerhouse of a team.
Okay, so let's look at the odds right now at Play Alberta. Because, and by the way, I see over Max Mizuzu says, guys, this is sounding like the next EST draft. The nerd draft.
Well, that's a good idea.
Nerdiest things, nerdy characters, like Steve Urkel.
Yeah.
I put it in the phone. Nerd draft. I don't mind that one. Okay, so here are, I'm looking at the odds right now, and I am seeing 6 teams that have 10-1 odds or better.
Okay.
Then there's a
Jay
drop
asked
off
me
to
this
16.
A couple weeks ago, but maybe
so you must have nailed it. But I'm curious if these would be your 6.
No, I didn't. I'm trying to remember who it was in the top 6. The Panthers were.
Yep, they are the cup favorite right now at 6-1.
The Oilers were.
The Oilers have the 3rd best odds at plus 850.
I think they had Carolina there.
Carolina has the 2nd best odds at 8-1.
They didn't have the Jets there. Though I would.
See, the Jets aren't even... Now, the Jets always get disrespected by sports books. The Jets aren't even top 10.
Which is absurd.
The Jets have the 11th best odds at 25-1.
Didn't they have... I'm trying to remember what... Because Jay quizzed me on these, and it took me a while to... There's 3 others. Did they have Tampa Bay up there that high?
Tampa Bay is 8th at 16-1. The other 3...
Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado, 9-1, right behind the Oilers.
Vegas
plus 950,
which I think is really questionable now.
Yeah,
but that's a team people like to bet on. I remember the Devils were fairly high.
Devils are 9th, which is a little high for me. Dallas Stars are the other.
Oh,
team.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Dallas.
So 4 teams from the West, 3, 4, 5, 6 in Edmonton, Colorado, Dallas, Vegas. Let's start with that. We know Florida. Of course, you're going to say they're a contender.
Yeah.
What about Carolina?
No, I would not have them on my short list.
Okay, so you wouldn't have Carolina in there.
I wouldn't have Carolina on my short list.
Okay, so Carolina, if we're going to try to get to 6, you've got Carolina out. I like that. What about these other Oilers, Avs, Golden Knights, Stars?
I would not have the Golden Knights.
Okay. So that's 2 spots I've opened
I
up.
would have Dallas.
So you do have Florida.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I hate just picking the defending champion, but they
kept everybody.
They didn't get worse.
No.
Yeah.
But, I mean, do we also look into the logistics of going to 4 straight Stanley Cup finals?
Yeah, difficult for sure.
But it was difficult to get to 3.
Yeah, they've got the 3.
And they've done that. So
I'd have Florida. I would still have Colorado, though. You know, I think there are some problems with their roster, and I still would have the Oilers. Now, before
and you said Dallas too, right?
Before everybody freaks out, that I would still put the Oilers as a top 6 Stanley Cup contender.
I was going to ask you if you had them in there.
All right. Let's consider this. First of all, to all the people I have to hear from on my show, and I'm sure you get it, that they're a terrible team, that they have terrible players, that they have terrible goalies, that Bouchard is an idiot, that Bowman can't run, that doesn't know how to GM. Okay, everybody, I get it. There are question marks, but look at some of the other teams that are listed as contenders. Like, you really think the Lumberyard is a Stanley Cup goaltending duo for Colorado? You can question that.
Yeah, you can question that for sure.
Well, the Oilers aren't physical enough. Okay. Dallas Stars got pushed around by the Edmonton Oilers for 5 games, basically. Right?
Yeah.
Even the big, bad Vegas Golden Knights all of a sudden didn't look so big and bad against the Oilers. So before you tell me how awful the Oilers are, remember, they have been to this. This isn't the decade of darkness, you know? Like, somebody messaged me a couple weeks ago. Was like, "Why are you so hard on the Elks and you never criticize the Oilers?" I'm like, "Well, I do criticize the Oilers, but they're kind of in different parts of their development here. Like, last place and conference champion is not the same level, the same kind of
That's a weird message to
same
get.
kind of dialogue. Like, settle down." So I would here's the thing I would say about the Oilers. Let's just start with the Pacific Division. Who obviously got way better than the Oilers this offseason? Not Vegas,
No.
not in my mind. Not LA in my mind. Vancouver? I don't know.
They're not at the same level.
Calgary's interesting. See which way they're going to go after kind of a surprising 96-point season.
But I don't think any of those teams are going to elevate themselves into the top 3 that we talk about all the time.
Series 10 months from now, it's pretty hard to predict. But sitting here right now, yes, the Oilers, and here's the thing: it's like, well, you know, Kane hard to replace, but he didn't play. They had a 101-point regular season without Kane, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Dustin. We knew this was going to happen. Now Skinner and Arvidsson were these 2 guys that at least combined for 31 goals, and Howard and Savoy have never scored. But right, so supposedly these 2 guys that you needed to get off the team are now like, oh yeah, but how do you replace Arvidsson's 15 goals? Well, I don't know, everybody. Now nobody's bringing up all the criticism that he fell down all the time during the season. So this is still a very good Oilers team. Yes, I have questions about maybe third pairing D depth like that, and of course, you know, they need to have better goaltending all around. And maybe they will, maybe they won't. I mean, this could be a make or break year for Skinner. We're not doing that show today.
No, we're not doing that show today. That show will get done multiple times.
Even if you look at all the flawed players that the Oilers supposedly have, they still had a 100.1 season and made the Stanley Cup final with those players. So I'm asking, let's start with the Pacific Division, who obviously has surpassed the Edmonton Oilers this offseason? I would say nobody.
I would say if the question is obviously, the answer is nobody.
And then who in the Central Division has obviously surpassed the Edmonton Oilers? I would say there are teams that's about the same. It's interesting potentially making a list of if I had to get to 6 Stanley Cup contenders. Right now I have 5, and 4 of them are in the West.
Who was your 5th one? You have Vegas there?
No, you still have to put Winnipeg there.
Oh, Winnipeg.
You still have to put Winnipeg there.
I don't know about that one because, I mean, if Connor Hellebuck continues to be what he has been in the playoffs, I don't know how they get over that hurdle. This is a great, I mean, that's a good debate.
But I mean, you look at
they didn't have a great offseason either, right?
No. But they're still pretty good, and they still have Hellebuck.
They're pretty good. But I mean, Hellebuck's been, what's Hellebuck's? Let's see here. I mean, I love Hellebuck. I thought he totally deserved the Hart Trophy. Don't get me wrong, but his playoff numbers have been just falling off so heavily that I don't want to be it shouldn't be a situation where Connor Hellebuck's the guy holding the Jets back from a Stanley Cup, because I don't think that's necessarily the case, but he's not helping them win it. His last 3 years in the playoffs, 8.86, 8.70, 8.66 with goals against averages of 3.4, 5.2, and 3.08. It shouldn't be the case when the Hart Trophy winner is the thing that's holding you back from maybe taking a cup run, but in the playoffs it has been.
But it's almost like those stats for Hellebuck in the playoffs, it's almost like McDavid turning into a 0.25 points per game playoff performer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's that far of a drop off. Yeah,
it's not from 9. What was his regular season? 920 something.
Yeah, he's been a steady diet of 920s for a while.
It's not like he went from 920 to 907.
I'll give you his regular season numbers. Yeah, he completely. So over those same 3 years, we just laid out the save percentage in the playoffs. His last 3 regular seasons, 920, 921, 925.
Yeah, like
there's none better. And then you get to the playoffs, and it was like he completely forgets how to play the position.
No, maybe that's other. You know, it's a complex team game, so maybe there are other areas of the Jets that are being exploited once you get to the postseason. This is interesting because, you know, maybe I'm just going to give those 5 teams. Maybe my top tier is just those 5. I would still put the Jets in there. I think Dallas is still a very well put together team, and clearly they have Ottinger. I think Colorado is still a very well put, but I mean, Colorado has a star power. Are they as good as, well, clearly they're not as good as the year they won the cup, but I still think you look at them and say, what if they put it together? Then maybe my second, like, I don't know who else I would put in the second tier from the East. Like Washington had a,
I wouldn't put them in there.
Are the Devils on the way up? I can't put them there.
Not yet.
Are the Leafs my next best team?
Well, I think Tampa might be my next best team.
Maybe my next tier is Toronto, Tampa Bay, St. Louis. I mean, you see, it's going to be interesting to see how people predict St. Louis this year, because under Montgomery, they wouldn't have been a wild card team. You know, and Ben Binnington clearly, like he can be pretty up and down too. Yeah. But when he's on his game, he's pretty special, and they have a good roster. You know, they're pretty well balanced themselves, and they have some younger players. You know, Jake Neighbours, one of them, who still might keep them relevant for a few more years. But that's the crazy thing about hockey. Like you got to the Stanley Cup final this past season in June, and maybe more so than in a lot of years when you reach the final. A lot of the dialogue was Florida and Edmonton are obviously better. Like Edmonton, after falling behind against LA, didn't get pushed. Let's face it. I know they won some overtime games and they won some close games. Florida got pushed by the Leafs, but yet a couple of their wins in that series, key wins, were really lopsided. The Carolina series was a joke. I know Carolina won a game, but let's face it, that was men against boys. And then the final itself, after game 2, was men against boys. Yeah. So that's why you got to be careful. I don't think Florida is that much better than the rest of the league than they appeared to be in the playoffs, but they made some good trades and played at a high level in the postseason, which is what the Oilers did against especially Vegas and Dallas, you know. So I don't want to sit here and say no one touched, because once it's January 10th and we're looking at the standings, it's like, man, like it's so tight and anybody can beat anybody.
Separated by 5 points and 9 spots.
And then the playoffs is a totally different world. But sitting here right now, you know, I think Florida is still up there. I think you got to put Dallas up there. I would still put Winnipeg up there. I would still put Edmonton up there. And even though I think Colorado has some question marks, I would still put them as a team with enough firepower and stars.
It's a strong top end of the West again, right? Yeah. If we were to poll Oilers fans right now on this very question, and maybe I should have done this right at the beginning of the show, but if we ask the question, after the offseason or midway through the offseason, whatever, most of the business is done. At this point of the offseason, would you say the Edmonton Oilers are legitimate Stanley Cup contenders again? Yes or no? What do you think the Oilers fans' vote would be on that?
It would be probably 85% no.
Really?
Yep.
Man, I thought you made a pretty valid case, though, that it should be the other, which they
don't listen to me.
Yeah. You know what?
Even though I was 1 point off in my prediction for how they do last year, even though I said they were going to take LA apart because of LA's depth and goaltending, and it eventually happened. But nobody pays attention to the times I say something that turns out to be true. They focus on the one time a year I'm mildly incorrect.
I'm putting this up right now. Should I say true cup contenders or legit cup contenders? Doesn't really matter, probably.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
All right. Let's see. I mean, I want to have more faith in the fans, but you might be right. I mean, it really depends on.
And the people who text us and post in the nasty chat don't represent everybody. So maybe I've been seeing too much of the same things from the same group of people since the season ended about how bad they are and how the GM can't do anything and Skinner will never stop another puck and Bouchard will sleep through games, like.
Oh God, we'll see where this vote goes
Imagine
out.
if Bouch actually just was checking a guy in front of the net and fell asleep, like just standing up, and then was like, "Oh."
I mean, I can imagine it, but I also think 3 years from now we might see it. Did Bouchard fall asleep there briefly next to that? I think he might have. Let's go to the slow mo.
His eyes do seem to be closed. That's longer than a blink. That's longer than a blink.
All right, we got about 5 minutes left. You've got a show coming up from 3 to 6 this afternoon. It is the Reed Wilkins show. This hour's flown by, so thank you for sliding in. Colin Mockery today.
Colin Mockery's on the show. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Have you ever done improv?
No, just in a university class.
Okay.
Nothing serious. I think it's one of the purest forms of entertainment. I like live theater in general.
Yeah.
So Colin, the show is called Colin's Back. If you want to look on I think it's just fringetheater.ca.
And he does it at the home of the Estes.
Yes, it's at the Garneau.
Yeah.
So quick story. Well, we still got 4 or 5 minutes. So last year he did, I think he's doing more shows this year. Oh. So this year I'm not volunteering, but I did box office last year, and somebody came up to buy tickets to Colin Mockery, and the guy next to me, I didn't know him. He was just a fellow volunteer.
He was also working box office.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, because there's 3 or 4 of you in a station, right, or in a booth, or in the Central Arts Barns there. And he's like, no tickets for that. And I was like, I just hit return, and then I saw I'm like, sorry, no tickets, but then. It didn't say sold out. It had this weird symbol I'd never before and said not available. And I was like, what? I was like, what is this? And he goes, well, apparently it's oversold. Apparently they entered the capacity of the Garneau wrong into the system and sold too many tickets. So I can't remember how this all happened, but they were asking volunteers who had got comp tickets to give them back. Because when you volunteer at the Fringe, you get a voucher after every shift. And the voucher is basically worth a show.
Okay.
So, but for Mockery, I had purchased the tickets for me and my friend. But when we were out in line outside the Garneau, there were Fringe volunteers going through the line like, hey, are you a volunteer? And I was like, yes, but look, I paid for this. Okay. So they oversold because he's such a name.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he's a huge
name. But
the
show is hilarious. So he comes on stage with other improvers,
some
of whom, most of whom were pretty veteran, like either in Edmonton or had been in Edmonton and moved on to somewhere else. And, he's just to
be that quick-witted is, to me, legitimately the funny. You can do stand-up and you can script your stand-up and, you riff on things and get in movies, But to step up there and, you can try to do improv, but for somebody to step up there and be one of the best at it on a consistent basis, I think it's got to be one of the most difficult things to do.
Well, and to actually make a story, because sometimes they do sort of their, some of the things on Whose Line Is It, like the scenes from A Hat. They would come up and just be one line.
Yeah.
So they do that, but they also will do a scene where it's a little story. And you still have to make the story sort of make sense and be comedic at the same time. You can't, if you just get up there and start saying funny things, it's funny, but does it fit the situation?
Yeah.
Right. Or work in that scenario. So that's what I really respect about the two guys that I like. And it's one of the guys in this group that's connected me with Colin. They're called Scratch. This is their 25th year at the Fringe. They get 3 suggestions from the audience and they do a 1-hour play. No, it's goofy, but they have a story.
Jeez,
like
an hour?
and they do every character, and they sometimes they'll talk to themselves because I'm both the doctor and the patient in a scene, and so I love stuff like that. So Colin Mochry's on 4:00. Our athlete of the week is a international dodgeball player from Edmonton.
Yes.
And I had Calvin McCarty's on the show now with the Wildcats.
Yeah, that's good. I like that too. But yeah, going for an hour with just a couple of guys, not really planning anything, is not easy to do.
No, and that's the hard thing.
As
we're all funny here and quick-witted, but if somebody said, okay, you and Dustin do a 15-minute play based on these suggestions, like we'd be lost 3 minutes in.
So if like on Whose Line Is It Anyway, when they go, things you can say on the golf course and to your significant other, right? And then they had things, bang. It's
they did something like that at his show last year, like the quicker lines, and then again they might do a longer scene or do a variety of scenes based on some certain suggestions, and you never know where they're going to go, right? Like the suggestion could be shovel, yet they do something on a spaceship where it still somehow makes you think of a shovel, stuff like that.
That's good. I like that. All right, I've got a meeting with our former landlord in 5 minutes, so I gotta hop over to the old place. Everybody, wish me luck. We'll see how this goes. Reed Wilkins Show coming up from 3 to 6. EST Afternoons. Hernan Salas, Matty Owanek, locked and loaded coming up next. Two Guys and Goalie, brought to you by the great crew over at GS Construction. If you're looking for maybe switching it up a little bit in your career, check them out. GS Construction hiring now. They're hiring yesterday, hiring tomorrow. They'll be hiring next week. They'll be hiring next month. Become a part of their great team today by visiting gsconstruction.ca or find their page on indeed.ca. For the past 50 years, the foundation of GS has been built on efficiency, quality, and safety. Take your career to the next level. Join the team at GS Construction. For Reed Wilkins, I am Dustin Nielson. Friday Nielson Show tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Take it easy.